Hello and welcome. My name is Biagio Mazza, Pastoral Associate at St. Sabina Parish in Belton, Missouri, and I'm here to welcome you to another Do You Know series question. As we continue our reflections on our lived faith experiences, and as we transition to a new lectionary year A, focused on the Gospel of Matthew, today's Do You Know question is, do you know how Matthew's Gospel pictures Jesus? Each of the Gospels presents a different face of Jesus simply because the Gospel writers were really presenting Jesus in a way that addressed the needs, the issues, and the concerns of their particular communities. And so as a result of this, what happens is each gospel writer selects different aspects of Jesus which will coincide with the questions and concerns of their community. This results in 4 different images of Jesus, 4 different ways of portraying Jesus, which also correlates with 4 different ways of being disciples and 4 different ways of being communities who are followers of Jesus. And so in Matthew's Gospel, for example, which is the focus of lectionary year A, in Matthew's Gospel, we have a thoroughly Jewish community that is struggling with many issues. And the key issue is that they are a community who has accepted Jesus as the long-awaited Messiah, and they are being criticized and really ostracized in many ways by fellow Jews who do not accept Jesus as the long-awaited Messiah. At the very same time, they're also struggling with this whole notion of welcoming and accepting Gentiles who desire to be followers of Jesus. Their own fellow Jews are calling them heretics and people who are not faithful to the Mosaic Torah. And so as a result, Matthew writes his gospel in such a way to support and encourage his community to say that they are on the right track by accepting Jesus as the long-awaited Jewish Messiah, and they are definitely on the right track in struggling with this whole issue of how to welcome Gentiles, non-Jews, into their community. These are Gentiles who desire to follow Jesus. So how does Matthew do it? Matthew structures his gospel in such a way to assert this strong belief of his community. How does he do it? He starts with the genealogy of Jesus by making Jesus thoroughly Jewish, immersed in the best of his tradition, connected with Abraham, David, the Babylonian exile, and so on, as well as by inserting 4 Gentile women into the genealogy who have played significant roles in the history of the Jewish people. He also pictures Jesus as one like Moses, from the very beginning of his birth, one like Moses, who is not only like Moses, but greater than Moses in word and deed. Throughout Matthew's Gospel, Jesus is pictured as fulfilling all of the Old Testament messianic prophecies. Jesus is definitely pictured also as one who delivers 5 major discourses in which they're contrasted with the 5 books of Torah of Moses. He's also pictured as a prophet and a teacher who teaches with authority and who continually challenges his people to renew their commitment to the covenant. Jesus is the Messiah who came not just for Jews, but also for Gentiles as well. Jesus is the one who came to fulfill the Torah, not do away with it, to fulfill it, to expand it, and to deepen it. And finally, Jesus is the ultimate teacher who teaches with authority and gathers disciples who understand him perfectly and will be able to teach others and continue Jesus' mission and ministry. So in picturing Jesus this way, what Matthew does is he really addresses the needs and the concerns of his community who are struggling with fellow Jews and with accepting Gentiles, and he affirms in some ways that they are on the right path, while at the same time authoritatively responding to those Jews who are criticizing them as not being faithful Jews. And so in this way, we have this unique image of Jesus in Matthew's Gospel, which we will look at throughout the entire liturgical year. So I hope this has helped to explain just a bit of how Matthew's Gospel portrays Jesus, pictures Jesus, and I hope you'll return again to more Do You Know series question as we continue reflecting on our lived faith experiences. Thank you very much.